Hello and welcome back. We are here showing you the post-recording of Round 4 of the League Cup in the Collector Store at St. Peter's. I'm your host, Jared Carpenter, joined by my co-commentator, Chris Yingling. And Chris, wow, we have a really interesting team on the left side of our screen here.
Yeah, interesting is the right word here. For those that don't know, we do have here on the left side versus Rex, and Mason has secured all the points that he needs from local victories and has decided to have a little fun here at the Collector Store tournament today, opting for something unorthodox, to say the best. Yes, that is a Diglett on your screen. Diglett, that little Generation 1 guy, is appearing for Mason, doing something very interesting. I mean, Diglett is fast, right? It has a base 95 speed, so it is actually kind of hauling there. It does have the Arena Trap ability, similar to Gothitel's Shadow Tag, is able to trap opposing Pokemon on to the field, make it so they can't switch in and out. And this is paired with Politoed as well. Has that ability shield to make sure that it always, no matter what, gets up those drizzles, regardless of any wheezing that it might hit. And Politoed does have the Perish Song attached to it. So, no, this is not your regular Wolf Glick international winning Perish Trap mode of a team. But sure, if you squint a lot, maybe you see that. In addition to, oh yeah, the other good Pokemon, Miraidon and Calyrex up there, just to give a little bit of a baseline for Regulation I team. Mason having some fun, and yeah, not to mention even the King's Rock Medicham over there with the Fling attack on it, which is going to be a guaranteed flinch with the fake out. So very interesting stuff over there for Mason. See if Diglett has the Fisher ability, is going to try and maybe get some Okos in this one. Meanwhile, we have Rex on the other side, who is packing more of a standard team. We don't see a lot of Zacian these days, but Rex has really opted to use this Zacian to really good ability here, pairing it with the Miraidon. The two offensive Pokemon really pair with each other quite well on sort of a fast but not so fast mode in combination with the Tornadus to really help with the Tailwind there, and the normal mods that you'd expect out of Incineroar and Urshifu supporting the two. Very interestingly for this one, Rexization does hold Crunch in this game, which could be impactful for the Calyrex Shadow Rider on Mason's side of the field. So regardless of what you think about the weirdness of the team here on the left side of the screen, this should be an interesting game. We know Mason's a really great player, and hey, maybe he can make Diglett sing in this one.
Yeah, I absolutely want to see what this Diglett's got up its sleeve. Looking at its move sheet, Fissure and Endeavor, absolutely moves that you click when you want to just have a fun time. So as we get into this game, we'll see if we have an immediate Perish mode, or if we're going to see Miraidon and Calyrex come in just for some offensive pressure right off the rip. So here we are. Rex definitely playing for points, sending out Tornadus and Urshifu, wanting to get some Tailwind options going, as we see the other genie, that Landorus, come out with the Miraidon.
Yeah, so this is, despite Mason's kind of weird team, this is going to be the more standard mode that we can see out of it, seeing that we do have some back there. But a big deal in this one is that the Landorus for Mason is Terra Ground, opting for that little bit of additional damage from Earth Power and Sandsear Storm, which should mean that with a Tailwind here from the Tornadus, it is always going to be able to go down to a Surging Strikes here from Urshifu, and I think that's probably what we're seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes the Surging Strikes. Landorus accepting the fact that it's going to fall here, but Miraidon has a very interesting move option on it, with the Diglett and Landorus both being ground types, and Telepathy being the ability of choice on the Medicham. Yeah, here's the Discharge, able to take out both of the opponent's Pokemon, so suddenly we have a 3-2 matchup that is in Mason's favor.
That's so much fun. I adore this, and you're absolutely right. You pointed it out. We're seeing it on the screen right now. Diglett's going to be immune to that discharge. Medicham with the telepathy ability, not the one that we normally see on Medicham in some of the lower power formats. We'll see pure power occasionally to do some skill swaps and shenanigans, but this one is telepathy, which means it's not going to take the hit from its partner Miraidon with that discharge, and Mason with his little fun team here is finding an early advantage, but Rex does have the tailwind up. That's going to be impactful. It makes Zacian the fastest thing on the field for the foreseeable future here, in addition to the other Miraidon, and Medicham is only going to be able to flinch one of these two Pokemon.
Well, the interesting thing about Fake Out will absolutely be able to flinch, but due to the tailwind, the Fling won't be able to get a flinch with the King's Rock. But we do see a Terra Electric immediately coming out for Mason, wanting to do as much damage as possible to this Zacian with the discharge. Not going to do so much to the Miraidon, but we'll see what happens as this turn goes through. Rex really wanting to take his time and make sure, probably wasn't quite expecting to be on the back foot, down 2 Pokemon on that first turn. So really wanting to make sure that he makes the best use of the 2 remaining turns of Tailwind that he has in order to be able to come out on top against Mason's team here. So we definitely see, here comes the Terra Electric into Mason's Miraidon. That does mean that Rex chose to not go for a Terrassalization. So we'll see what he wants to do. So a Fake comes out, wanting to try to predict a Protect to block a Fake Out, but oh man, even losing. Oh wow! But the Miraidon holds on to that double fairy damage coming out.
Wow,
that is really surprising. And here comes the discharge.
And it's going to do huge damage. Yeah, it kills Zacian just straight up. That's like massive that the Dazzling Gleam plus Play Rough combination was unable to take out the Miraidon, living on just 5 damage there. And Rex suddenly finds himself on a back foot here. Now, granted, there are 2 more turns of Tailwind here, and odds are Mason kind of seems maybe a little bit out of options here. Mason has to be thinking, maybe is it a sacrificial Diglett time into the Miraidon slot to maybe get him one more turn to stall out the turns of Tailwind. But while Rex might be down 1-3, it actually looks like there's not a whole lot that can be done here on Mason's side.
Yeah, Miraidon's going for that Dazzling Gleam, gonna get the double knockout, and so you have a Focus Sash Diglett and a Dream here, ladies and gentlemen. There is a 30% chance that Diglett will be able to go for a Fissure and take out this Miraidon. That's Mason's only out at this point. It's the only actual attack that can take out the opponent that Diglett has. Maybe an Earthquake, honestly, even with Diglett's low attack, might be able to get the KO here, but we have the Fissure instead. Diglett opting to just go for Protect, waste a little bit of time of that Tailwind, slow it down, remove it. Probably won't matter. I doubt that Rex isn't running a max speed Miraidon, but hey, there's a chance maybe it's not, and that this Diglett would be faster, but I somewhat doubt the 40-point base speed difference.
I also doubt it, but this is hilarious. Yes, we are coming down to a true 30% chance at the end of this game. I agree with you. Diglett's Protect is kind of meaningless here. I don't imagine that this Diglett is going to be faster out of Tailwind than the Miraidon. Look at that. Even the perspective of the camera here knows how small Diglett is in comparison to Miraidon. Yes, folks, this game comes down to the 30% chance as to whether this little baby Pokemon with 161 speed, I have seen Miraidon slower than that, is going to hit the Fissure here. Very fun turn. Let's see what happens.
Well, there's the Dazzling Gleam, so this Miraidon isn't slower than 161 speed. Diglett goes down, is at 1 HP, procs the Focus Sash. Can the Diglett do it? Can this Diglett dig a hole that will drop the bite? And it does! Chomp! And that Miraidon, it's a one-hit KO. This is the most Diglett has ever done in a VGC event, ladies and gentlemen. Miraidon goes down, and Diglett, 1 HP in a dream, is able to get the win for Mason.
That might be one of the funniest endgames I've ever seen. That is so funny that this little cute little baby Diglett is able to get the OHKO on the legendary cover Pokemon of Pokemon Violet. Oh my goodness! Good for Mason, bringing something fun today, and he had one win con, folks. It was click the Fisher and try and get it. And look, 30% moves mean that they only miss 70% of the time, which means you are going to connect sometimes. Wow, there you go. Mason takes a 1-0 victory there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you think about it, you know, we've all clicked Focus Blast, and that move misses all the time, and it misses as much as Fissure hits, so that's how that works, right? That's statistics.
Right. Yeah, that's
so,
right.
You know, as funny as that is, Rex really must have been feeling the pressure at this point, wanting to come out of this, not wanting to lose to Diglett of all Pokemon, but really, he played that game pretty well. It just came down to a 30%, not even really a coin flip at the end. So we'll see how he wants to proceed. Definitely switching up his team options a little bit here.
Yeah, I think there's a number of things that you could do here. The big thing, though, that I think Rex is looking at his team sheet about here is, you know, feeling like he shouldn't have been on that back of a foot in that game one there was really there's nothing on Rex's team, Terra or not, that is going to be able to take discharges from Miraidon at nauseam like that, especially with the Scarf Landorus on the other side. There's really not a lot of options that Rex has to be able to deal with that sort of disc-quake sort of thing that Mason's going for here. I think maybe we could see a Tailwind Tornadus next to Miraidon could help with that. So maybe if the similar turn one comes out from Mason of just trying to get the discharge off, then Rex is able to kind of staunch the bleeding a little bit there by only losing his Tornadus. That could be something. You don't want to lose your Urshifu on turn one again if possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to lose that, but we do see the same exact lead coming out from Rex, and a slightly different lead this time coming out from Mason, this time having the Medicham out and ready for flinches. It absolutely does have that fake out that can prevent the Urshifu from moving, and a discharge looks really appealing right now.
Yep, this is exactly what you didn't want to see from Rex. The ability to fake out the Urshifu looks pretty darn massive right now, as Mason is, yes, considering discharge, because why not? Because Rex basically has to make the decision, all right, I think Urshifu needs to lead the field here, maybe using a U-turn to get out, but like, what do you have in the back that's really going to be able to take this? Not much.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing you have in the back that can take this is your own Miraidon, which admittedly does take it very, very well. But, you know, this Terra Electric, it'll do, I don't know, maybe 20% at best with a quad resistance. But what move is this Tornadus going to go for? It can't be flinched, fortunately, due to the covert cloak, so it's not even going to be an attempt. A Tailwind comes out, guaranteeing the speed advantage for Rex's side here, but a Discharge comes out, dodged by the Telepathy, and Tornadus is going down. That's a foregone conclusion, but yeah, Miraidon takes roughly 20%. Not something it loves taking, but definitely wishes... glad it didn't take the critical hit on the Miraidon. I'll say that much for sure.
Yeah, way better turn one that time for Rex than last turn. Still got the Tailwind up. You don't really want Torn on the field anymore, so you're happy to let Tailwind go up and then lose the Torn here. And now Rex can do a number of things. He can get Zacian in here to start attacking that. Miraidon, we saw it did pretty good damage to it in game one. Could also go for the Urshifu here with Miraidon losing its water resist right now. There's a chance that maybe like a Life Orb Dazzling Gleam plus Surging Strikes maybe is able to take out the Miraidon. So Rex opting for the Urshifu over the Zacian here. I don't hate that play. I think it's a good one here, and we'll see what Mason has into it. I think having Urshifu on the field here, especially for that Focus Sash Diglett that we know is a little bit of a nuisance in the back, is not a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Miraidon's in a really interesting position. Having gone for the Terra Electric will protect you from Draco Meteors being super effective, will protect you from Dazzling Gleams being super effective, but you lose that water resistance that's so key in dealing with Urshifu Rapid Strike, and it's just always such a difficult thing to have. Goes for a feint with the Medicham into the Urshifu, just doing a little bit of damage, but this Surging Strikes is going to do so much damage with 3 hits. I'm not sure if Miraidon will be able to live another attack from Rex's Miraidon. There's the Draco Meteor. No way that survives.
Yeah, all right. So good for Rex there. For I was a little worried, thinking that maybe a Terra Dazzling Gleam was going to be the best play from them there. When I didn't see a Terra, I was a little worried there. But does what needs to be done there and gets the knockout onto that Pokemon. Now, Calyrex is able to come out here from Mason's end. We do know that it's a Life Orb Calyrex here. Life Orb Calyrex can take the Surging Strikes from Urshifu, and it probably will, but this Tailwind is still up from Rex's side, so really Miraidon can just kind of lock into whatever, probably Electro Drift into the Calyrex and just try and get the double into the opposing Calyrex, and that should knock it out, and Medicham really can't do anything right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad. The double flinch support from the Medicham, really relies on Medicham being faster with the fling. Unfortunately, with Tailwind, you're not going to be faster as a Medicham. Not really a Pokemon known for its speed in any capacity. And outside of that, what else does it have? It has Feint for chip damage. It has Helping Hand, which is honestly what it wants to be doing most of the time after it gets a flinch off, but with this Tailwind, it won't be able to do anything.
Oh no.
If it had clicked Helping Hand, that might have been crucial to get these Astral Barrage KOs. But it didn't go for it.
We'll see what happens here. Yup, not quite enough damage on the Miraidon. However, Miraidon is Life Orb, so I could be wrong based on what that number looks like, but I do believe that it will not get knocked out by another hit from the Miraidon. But yes, Calyrex is taken low enough that its own Life Orb knocks it out, so we get to see Diglett try and clutch out a little win here in the end game.
I mean, I think you need to really cross your fingers on another Fissure and a Feint getting a knockout into Miraidon. I think that's what this is going to come down to.
I agree with that. I think it has to be a Feint into Miraidon and hope that Feint is enough damage to try and kill it, and then, yeah, you gotta hope that maybe Diglett's got a little bit more magic in him.
I mean, 30% of the time worked last time, so here comes the Protect from the Diglett, really hoping to force a 1v1 situation. Here's the Feint into the Miraidon, doesn't get the KO, but the Behemoth Blade goes into the Diglett, wanting to get rid of that Focus Sash. And so we see a Dazzling Gleam come out from Miraidon. This is exactly the same situation that we saw before. The Miraidon on Rex's team, not the choice specs like you see so commonly, instead Life Orb, and that Feint chip damage is going to force it to fall.
That is hilarious. We are in the exact same situation that we were just in last game. Diglett versus Zacian. Diglett has one attempt to try and get this kill onto the Zacian. We assume that Zacian's probably faster here.
Yeah, goes for the guaranteed hit in Behemoth Blade. Going to take Diglett down to 1 HP. We'll see, does Lightning strike twice? Or I guess does the Ground strike twice in this instance? Goes for Fissure, and it misses. Ah, man. Well, I mean, you can't really be overly surprised or upset about that. You know, it's a move that's notoriously unreliable, and I think that'll be all she wrote here. Behemoth Blade coming out, going to take out the Diglett, forcing a game number 3. And man, Rex has got to be happy he dodged a second fissure there.
Yes. Oh, no doubt he's got to be happy about that. The fact that we got to literally the same endgame situation, just the Pokemon switched out, was absolutely hilarious. Overall, I think Rex played that game too better there. There were still some things that I think Rex could have done better there. For example, I think he had a guaranteed knockout with the Miraidon, though it was -2. I think he had a guaranteed knockout with the Electro Drift onto the Calyrex Shadow Rider. Instead opted for the spread move Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam there. Maybe not taking that huge damage from the Calyrex could have made the end game a little bit less sweaty than it had to be. So maybe some notes there that Rex is making, that hey, maybe there's an option to kind of make it a little bit cleaner of a game. But I think making sure that first turn with the Miraidon going for the discharge there, making sure that the opposing Miraidon is the one that takes it, and none of Rex's other mons that really don't want to, was really important for that one. So we'll see if that strategy ends up working out again here in Game 3.
Yeah, absolutely. The Miraidon switch, Mason, I think maybe should have predicted that and said, hey, I don't think you're going to let me get a double KO on turn 1 again. I think I'm going to go for Volt Switch, still pick up a KO, but then reposition slightly. But we'll see. He's definitely switching up his lead options here, going for the, by the looks of it, the Calyrex Shadow Rider is what he's hovering along with the Medicham. Definitely potentially going to be able to get some good damage, but maybe not. Maybe leaving a Miraidon at home. He's got a bit of time left to where he can make a decision, but we'll see what he wants to go for. No, does decide to bring double restricted. You have to really have a good reason to not bring both of the strongest Pokemon on your team to a battle. And so, yep, both trainers have locked in, and we shall see Mason versus Rex. Third game of round number 4. Both of these players playing to try to get into the final grouping of 4 at this League Cup. So, we see, once again, Tornadus and Urshifu come out. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But this time, we have Calyrex and Medicham, and without that spread damage, without the spread damage of Discharge, rather, I feel like we might not be seeing a switch-in from the Miraidon this turn.
Yeah, there's no doubt that this is a great lead for Mason. Mason really has a pretty free Astro Barrage plus Fake Out into the Urshifu. Really nothing that Rex has wants to take this. We've seen in the first 2 games, Rex has opted to keep the Incineroar and the Ogerpon at home, 2 Pokemon that could maybe take the Zacian or the Calyrex attack a little better. And I don't think that Rex is going to want Urshifu to take this, but it looks like he's opting to stay in. Interesting.
Oh, but so smart. This hasn't been revealed. Well, it's been on the character sheets, but he hasn't gone for this all game. The
Right.
Terra Ghost, able to block a Fake Out, will mean it probably will faint to this Astro Barrage, but it will be able to get an attack off with that Choice Scarf. Really interesting, no Tailwind coming out from the Tornadus, wanting to go for a double up, and I don't think a no boost Calyrex is going to be able to take out this Tornadus. So Tornadus survives. Maybe a Helping Hand would have done it, but it would have probably not been able to quite pick up the KO on its own. And so we'll see. This Tornadus probably went for Bleakwind Storm. We'll see if it's able to get the connects and take out both of the opponent's Pokemon.
Yeah, wow, there you go. What a play by Rex there. Critical hit on Medicham there. I'm not sure it matters. Medicham not exactly known for its bulk and super effective hit there from Tornadus, but yeah, really fantastic turn there from Rex. You don't really need your Urshifu here in the end game. You got the damage that you needed onto it. Obviously did have to connect both of those Bleak Windstorms. We know Bleak Windstorm's not the most reliable move in the world, but did connect it very pivotably on the Calyrex, and now is able to conserve this Tornadus' Tailwind for the end game. So no matter what happens here in the finish line, you know that your Pokemon are going to be faster than this Miraidon, faster than this Diglett.
Yeah, and we have just a really big choice for Mason. He's in a back against the wall, the inverse of game number 1. Now he's the one down to 2 Pokemon, and his opponent has 3, and one of them's the Diglett. And unlike the other times when Diglett was one of the last Pokemon left, there's a Tornadus with a flying type on the other side of the field, so Diglett's not going to be able to get any fissures off. We do see the Mason's Miraidon locking into Discharge. Oh, nope, switching around, possibly going for something else, but, you know, really trying to bait the opponent's Miraidon. Well, no, the opponent's Miraidon can't go for Terra Fairy because Terra Ghost was clicked earlier. So this is going to be a quad-resisted move, and that's going to be rough for Mason to chip through the enemy's Miraidon.
Yep, has to click the Tailwind here and just get some amount of damage. You don't really care how much, but it is going to take Diglett down to Zacian. We saw Diglett go Endeavor earlier. Who is going to be faster, Miraidon or Diglett from Mason's side? It is the Diglett who's faster somehow, which means his double Discharge is going to get a double kill here because of the way that Mason trained his Pokemon. This Diglett being somehow faster than Miraidon gets the Endeavor to chip down the opposing Miraidon and then kill it with his own Miraidon. That is absolutely a hilarious interaction, that this little baby Gen 1 ground type is faster than the partner dragon next to it, and that does leave Rex with just Zacian on his side, and we have hit that moment once again in which Diglett's best move is probably either Endeavor or Fissure, but Mason opts to go for the Endeavor here, hoping to maybe catch this Zacian not killing, but it did kill here, and I think that's going to be an end game that Rex is going to come out on top here.
Yeah, I think that Mason Endeavor wasn't going to do anything. We knew from game 1 that Discharge would have taken out the Zacian from full. I think he needed to go for Fissure there, just in case the Zacian connects with that Play Rough and gets the KO, which it did happen. So I think this is a wrap. It would have been so nice to see a third Fissure attempt back in the same situation every game. Diglett versus a Legendary, needing to click Fissure to go for the win, but just didn't click it this time.
Yeah, I think Mason in that endgame was thinking that maybe his Miraidon, with the bulk that it has, and we know it has a lot of bulk considering it's slower than Diglett, was hoping that maybe the bulk would allow it to live that Play Rough from the Zacian, or at least maybe make the Zacian miss the Play Rough, in which, if that were the case, then yeah, Endeavor plus Discharge was always the correct play. But instead, the Zacian is able to get the kill with Play Rough, and Rex, after a very sweaty game 1 against the little Diglett that could, does end up winning game 2 and 3 and the set in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Great games from both of our players here. Both trainers put up a great fight, and thank you again to Mason for bringing such a fun team to this League Cup. And with that, we will close out round 4 of this event. Don't go anywhere. Stay on your playlist because we have the semifinals and final matches coming up, and you're not going to want to miss those. But until then, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the semifinals.